All right, this is Calibos, and we're playing Project Ozone 3. So, I don't remember what we were doing when last we left off, but I know what we're doing now, so I hope that works. So first things first, we need to come back over here and look at some tools. So let's look at this. What we want is the Matic, which is one iron shovel head, one iron axe head, and wooden tool rod. So the Matic is very important. It may not seem that way, but I feel it's important anyway, because it allows you to, it doesn't count as a shovel. As far as when it checks for what tool you're using, it doesn't realize that it works as a shovel, but it will chop with the same speed as a shovel, or as an axe, and dig at the same speed as a shovel, even if the block doesn't recognize it as such. So that's pretty cool. It's fast. Apparently, it's actually faster than my my broadsword, which is kind of depressing. And it does, yeah. Okay, so it's slightly. Okay, so it does a lot more damage than my sword, which is depressing. But it does not appear to be faster, maybe. Who knows? But, like I said, the fact that my sword does not as much damage. So anyway, next thing we need is a pickaxe head. So we have a pickaxe, and that's, as you saw, that's an iron pickaxe. I use a wooden binding and a wooden tool rod. There are a lot of really fancy things that you can do combining different tools and tool pieces. I prefer to go with at least one wood piece so that when I forget about it, you know, it's repairing itself, even if slowly. And I feel that's kind of the best for me. You'll have to figure out what the best for you is. But if we look into tinkers, well, we just look at like, yeah, tinkers. So you can see that different heads have different modifiers, and then it's the same when we go to, yeah, here we are, more heads and bits. And then when you're talking about tool rods and bindings and hilts and stuff like that, you know, they also add more stuff, more benefit. So that's something anyway. You know, you can figure out exactly what you want out of the tool and then design a tool specifically for that. But that is neither here nor there. I have the basic tools. They're going to work. They're going to work great. Today we're going to be doing some planting. So I have crop sticks. Now I am not entirely sure whether, well, yes, because it's nighttime. We know that. I'm not entirely sure whether these will breed up on their own, or I just planted one. There we go. Or whether we'll have to crossbreed them. So first things first, we're going to set up that. So that should adjust the light level appropriately. Next thing that we probably want to do is think about, well, let's do this. Is we want to think about the fact that the soil is dry. There are a couple of mod packs that I have played in where the plants absolutely will not grow unless the soil is wet, which is very awkward early game unless it is raining. So I have definitely had the experience of having to tell people to stop turning the rain off so that the plants would grow, because they wouldn't grow otherwise. So there we go. Now I don't have a lot of... Is it growing? Okay, so that's not going to work. At least I don't think it will. I don't have a lot of variety of plants yet, but one of the interesting and cool things about agricraft is that you can breed stuff. So, what did I come over here for? Bone meal. Leave that so it stays locked. So, right off the bat, you'll notice the crop sticks. So this is new for the purposes of planting. I mean, if you're doing vanilla, you're not familiar with crop sticks. And what they do is they provide a framework to theoretically strengthen the plant. That's the storyline. The mechanics work like this. The crop sticks provide a place for the agricraft crops to go. So you'll notice that this melon seed no longer stacks with the rest of the melon seeds that we had over here. So we pulled them out and they went to a different location. You know, they simply do not stack, and you can tell that they are different. If you look at it, maybe the differences are not obvious. Who knows? But meanwhile, while I'm explaining this very badly, I hear that's me explaining things badly. What we're attempting to do is make this plant a stronger version of the plant. They already produce better than regular crops. That's one of the reasons that you do it. But the better the plant is, the faster it grows, and the more things it produces. So let's look at agricraft really quick. And we're going to need a seed analyzer. So let's look into a seed analyzer. So we're going to need some glass. I had a thing. So this gives us glass. Next thing we're going to need would be, I don't remember if it requires a, we need a smooth stone slab. So that would be one of these. And then a wood slab, that would be one of those. So, seed analyzer, you're pretty much only going to need one. And I will usually put it next to a garbage can. Can we make a garbage can? Trash. Okay, we can. Let's see if we've got an extra chest in here somewhere. Trash can. Okay, sweet. So, you'll notice that it looks like there are 4 little melons coming off of this thing. And I will show you why that is in just a second. So, why is it not? I think that's fully grown. Typically it would have like mature or whatever on the top. So it does not give us a full watermelon. But what it does do is it gives us the melon slices. And I don't really care about the melon slices. So let's show you what the seed analyzer does. If I pop a seed in here, I can now see that this is a 111 melon seed, and it's 1 out of 10. So growth is how fast it grows. Gain is what you get from it as far as, in this case, melon slices. And strength is how well it resists weeds. I do not know if weeds are in this pack. I really hope they're not. So the idea is, you'll see that this one is now basically fully grown, and it should spread into this crop stick, hopefully. Another thing that we're going to end up doing is, and I'll do it here to show you. Here, I'll analyze a pumpkin seed. Might as well, right? You know what we could do? Here's another part of the mod that you should actually see. And I didn't think about it because I almost never use it, but 2, 3. Let's make a book really quick. So agricraft. And we want the journal. I think it's called a journal. Okay. So we want seeds. Do we even have any of those? We have to do this the hard way. It's not really hard, but... So the reason I made like 1,000,000 of these crop sticks is you end up using a lot. Now, it takes you a while to get through them, but you do end up using a lot. It's super green. All right. I need to start sorting this stuff into appropriate chests. Anyway, this is how you're going to basically be getting most of the seeds that you need to find. Now, if you're looking for a specific thing, it's highly likely that you're probably just not being very lucky, because they're a pain. Carrot seeds. There's actually quests involving that later, so I'll have to look into that. Keep these, keep that, keep that. Cotton is actually a big one. We don't really need it right now, but we may later. So I'm just going to go ahead and plant some cotton really quick. So we've actually got a lot of string, mostly because of the... why are we not growing up? Spread. Mostly because of the silkworms in the trees from like the first couple of episodes. If you need to, you can look that up. But we've also been getting string from some of the loot bags and such. So we've got a couple of different sources going for that. But being able to produce it reliably in at least early game can help. Oh my gosh. Ah, sweet. We're where we need to be. So let's chuck that in there. Pick up the rest of these. We're going to need the industrial hemp as well. It is also a good source of string, although technically I think it actually grows faster than the other stuff. It's going to be kind of interesting trying to make ores. So let's make the journal. So looking in the journal now, it's just a regular book. You can see that it doesn't really have a lot in it. And it has the basic walkthrough for agricraft. You know, 4 sticks in a crafting grid. This makes crops. That's the that's this. These are crops. You put those on farmland. Seeds can be planted. You also can apply a second set of crops to an existing crop. This will create a cross crop. If you plant 2 or more plants in crops adjacent to a cross crop, there's a chance for mutation to occur. So that first page is pretty much the entirety of agricraft. But what's important about this book is not the first page. So now if we look in the journal, and this wasn't here before. So we now know about melons, and it talks about, you know, how bright the melons have to be. More than 10, less than 16. Different growth stages of the melons. And if you take a melon, and we know about pumpkin seeds, so if we cross it with pumpkin seeds, then we'll get something. And then we have pumpkin that shows basically the same thing. And you can see this one, it gives us pumpkins, and this gives us melon slices. Pumpkins basically gives us the same thing, and it again hints if we cross the two, then we'll get something cool. So the idea is that we come over here and we go, this is a pumpkin and this is a melon. Now, it is actually better to have these be leveled first. Make sure that everything is happy. So I'll have to check and see, because typically these would spread. Now, they take a while to spread. There's nothing getting around that. I shouldn't have done that. I should have just left it alone. So that's the final stage, I think. There, that's the final stage. So they'll take a while to spread if they spread like this. Let's grow these up. Okay, so now that they have that, we'll stick the cross crop here, and then we wait. We're pretty much waiting for growth ticks. So you may or may not be aware that there's about, 20 ticks in a second or something like that. And there's a chance every tick, that a plant grows. This is true vanilla and agricraft and various other things. And so what it does is, if it happens to be a growth tick, there's a chance for a growth tick, and then on the growth tick, there's a chance that the plant grows. So, you're actually talking about an infinitesimally small chance of growth. But there's so many of them that typically it doesn't take too long, and the higher level your plants are, so if you have a plant that's got a growth of 10 out of 10, then it's going to be pretty quick, actually. Like, you can just set them down and basically watch them grow. Whereas these are going to be slightly slower. Now, I think that even at 1, they're at least as fast as vanilla crops. And especially in the case of the watermelon and the pumpkins, it's more convenient space-wise because if you're growing a watermelon, it puts it in the spot next to the plant. Same with the pumpkin. And I may only get 4 watermelons from this right now, and 1 pumpkin. But once we level those up, we'll be getting more. And that is just super convenient. Super convenient. So that's that. I have this feeling that there was something else that I wanted to do that I have forgotten to do. I am not sure precisely what that would be. Oh well, doesn't matter. So we can go through and take various other seeds in here that we have. So like the hemp seeds and the cotton seeds. I don't know about the carrots, but barley is definitely one that I've seen in agricraft. Got lots of pumpkin. Wait a minute. Freezer. Okay, I was just checking something. Let's see if we can examine those. Some of it certainly we're going to be able to. Do we have any other seeds up here that we care about? Beetroots. So beetroots are vanilla seed. I'm generically okay with their existence, I guess, since they provide red dye. But I don't really have any great love of them. Honestly, I'm not into farming. I am just not. So let's get some of the rest of these set up. So what I'm going to do after this episode is, let's see what scans. I'm going to go through and find out exactly how agricraft works in this one, and I'm going to do that by going to check the mod configurations. The config files, really. Now, if you don't know what you're doing with config files, you know, it's okay to look at them, but don't change anything. Not until you have looked into it a little bit at the very least. Some of them can have very interesting effects, and the formatting is very specific. If the mod maker has been really nice, it usually tells you exactly what format and what things that they are okay with you changing. But if you just willy-nilly start writing random things in there, you can cause bad stuff to happen. Alright, so there's a distinct lack of continuation or anything there. So carrots clearly don't do anything. That doesn't like to grow, but we can fix that in a second. We'll get okay, cotton, we've already got one going. So let's do hemp. Again, we're going to need hemp later. We're probably not going to need all that much. Well, it depends on what we do, I guess. Oops, oops, oops. There we go. Barley seeds. Okay. We'll leave that for now. Beetroot seeds. But yeah, it looks like we're probably going to call it here. Again, I'm ill-suited to be a farmer. I tend to breed stuff up and then just ignore it. I will, when I can, automate all of this so that I don't even have to think about it, because I don't like thinking about it. And that. But, yep. So if you liked it, leave a like. If you don't, don't. Questions, comments, concerns can all go below. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Oops. There we go. That's better.